Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Inshallah, I hope all of you are doing well and ready to go. Let's go ahead and begin with our wonderful workshop that we have planned out for today, beginning with the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك الذي أنقض ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك فإن مع العسر يسرا إن مع العسر يسرا فإذا فرغت فانصب وإلى ربك فارغب بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Alhamdulillah, it's with the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we are all gathered here today to learn about a topic that's very, very near and dear, I think, to all of us, alhamdulillah, and a very important topic. So inshallah, we're going to go straight in and let's hear what you guys have to say, and let's see what we can learn today, inshallah, together. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, inshallah. So now let's go ahead and look at these symbols that we have here on the screen. What do you guys think? Are they familiar to you guys? If you are, now, before we begin, interaction, go ahead. We have the chat box here on YouTube also and on Zoom. And please, you can raise your hand as well on Zoom. How many of you guys are seeing familiar symbols on the screen? Yeah, very good. Yeah, I'm sure at least we can recognize half of them, right? Or maybe even more. So what symbols are they? What can you tell me the names? What kind of names of the symbols do you see? Mm-hmm. Good. Okay. Okay. Yeah, you're sure. Exactly. Definitely. So these are symbols of social media, right? Very familiar symbols and symbols that we see every day, every night sometimes, and something that we can hardly avoid in our lives these days. Now, those of you who are here, alhamdulillah, just be very thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we are sitting here going to be talking about a topic that you all are somewhat, are familiar with, but also in a way that we can also find the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is actually a very big blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we are all sitting here together to talk about a responsible and a responsible and a safe way to be, making an impact and being present on social media. So we can see, there's so many symbols here, right? They look really pretty. They're colorful and fun, right? Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, all of these, WhatsApp, YouTube, all of these symbols are representing things that we can not even imagine living our lives without. Now, you probably think I'm here to tell you that everything here is haram and just, stay away from it, right? And how many of you guys thought that? You can raise your hand. I won't mind, I promise. But, just, it's a very natural thing to think that I'm just going to be telling you, don't use the internet, don't do this, don't do that. Good, alhamdulillah. I see you guys are raising your hand. Yeah, thank you for being honest, alhamdulillah. Yeah, exactly. I would think the same thing. But instead, actually, today we're going to be looking at a way we could use social media, which is a big part of our lives these days, but in a way that keeps us safe, right? Keeps us safe, but also lets us, be responsible and also use it in a way so that way we can find, have the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and see how we can adjust our life and the way we use social media so that way we can make a good impact in our lives for the deen. And so that way we don't get, we don't, because we don't want to have the anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? So that's what the most important thing is, that use social media and the internet, but in a positive way. That's what our goal is. Okay, are you guys ready? Inshallah, if you're ready, raise your hand. Inshallah, we're going to go straight into it and see what we can learn. Inshallah, very good. Alhamdulillah, very good. I'm glad to see you guys are ready. Inshallah. Okay, inshallah. So Now, I want you all to sit where you are and imagine one thing that you went online and you decided to, maybe check if any of you here like to see maybe sports updates, or you like to maybe check online for news things, news updates, or maybe you like to shop online, right? I'm sure many of you here might like to shop, and or use Facebook, anything, all of these things, right? The internet, Google, these things give us the access to a whole different world, right? So you spend time there. You're like, oh, I'll just be on here for a half hour, and I'll just get offline. Now, the that you can raise your hand. How many of you have ever done that? We browse the internet, use social media. I'm sure all of you can raise your hand, right? Whether it's for fun, for school, for work, we've all done it. Now imagine you had planned to just do it for a half hour, and you said, "Oh, I'm gonna get up because it's a certain time. I'm gonna go pray," and you accidentally stayed online for 2 hours, and now it's time for Maghrib, right? You don't have to raise your hand, but I'm sure has happened to all of you guys at some point or another. Hopefully not, but the internet has its good sides, right? You get to learn things, you get to have fun, you get to learn about the world, you get to do your homework if you need to, you get to do work because these days people are working online too. There's so many things going on, but how did we mess up? We messed up by missing our salah because we got lost in the time, right? And that's one big danger, right? How are we going to fix that? Okay, how about we think of another scenario? You go online, maybe on your phone or on your computer. Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and post. You're on a vacation, or you're shopping at the mall, and you post your location. Oh, here I am right now. And God forbid somebody, or may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect anyone, somebody who was dangerous, he came and he saw, oh, this person is here right now, and they find a way to kidnap you. These types of things happen, guys, and these are very, very scary. And that's why we need to make sure that we should find the correct ways to use these wonderful tools that we have in a responsible way, inshallah. Okay, how about if you post on Instagram, right? Who doesn't love to post pictures of food on on Instagram, right? It's fun, right? But what if somebody gets, who doesn't have access to that amazing thing that you have, the food or those clothes or that amazing house you have, and they start getting jealous, right? Being a victim of nazar, right? That's real. All of these things, guys, but the point is that all of the tools that we have in social media are very helpful, they're good, but we have to learn what kind of impact they have on our lives, right? Inshallah. And that's what we're gonna be looking at, inshallah, today. So let's go ahead. So the first thing that we should focus on, how does social media affect our social life, right? Social, it's this is same word, right? But how do we look at it in a way that, what is using social media doing to my actual social life, my physical interaction with people around me? What do you guys think? How could social media, a great big usage of social media, be impacting your life around you? What do you guys think? Can you put some ideas in the chat box? I'm going to look at them, all right? So go ahead and put them, inshallah. So social media can be used in ways that benefit social life, okay? Let's talk about that first. What you guys can, meanwhile, go ahead, inshallah, and put it in the chat box. What kind of ways do you think social media can help our social life, right? So it can help our social life because it keeps us connected with our family, right? Or it helps us make it easy for us to communicate. Like those of you who are in school, you probably have emails that you can send to your teacher, or you can email your friends, or text your friends. Oh, I need help with this homework. These are different things that we could do on social media. There are also ways that you can talk to other Muslims, right? You talk to other Muslims about the deen, and you can get more knowledge about the deen, right? If you look at the benefits of social media, they are great. But on the other hand, looking at the dangers of social media, right? Social media, on the other hand, can impact our social life in a way that maybe you guys don't think of it that way. That the more you spend, the time you spend online, it's less time you spend offline with your family. How many of us sit together at the dinner table and you all have your cell phones in your hand and you're not even talking to the people who are you're at the dinner table with? Have you guys ever seen that happen in your house where you or your family members are too busy on the phone and you don't talk to each other sometimes? Raise your hand. Have you ever seen that? Yeah, exactly. We've all seen that, right? It's a very rare occasion to see a family like that. That you put the phone on the side and you're actually talking to each other and things like that. Sometimes your phones are in your hand. Sometimes the TV is on. All of these things, these take away from the quality of life that we have with our family. As a Muslim, alhamdulillah, we know that, spending time with our family and fulfilling the rights of our parents, these things are essential in our life. And we cannot stay away from them, right? We need to give priority to our deen in every aspect so that way we can become better Muslims. When you go on, whenever you take a step on social media, the first thing you should keep in your mind is that how is my deen being affected by this? Right? At that moment, what if you, like the earlier example we gave, you spent time online and you missed Salah, right? These things are things that we need to keep in mind. So now coming back to the social life, how is that being affected? You not only you ignore the people who are around you, but you also, reduce your communication with the people that are around you. Whether it's your, maybe going, your relatives, right? Our relatives who are far away, you can call them on the phone, but rather, oh, you're fine with just seeing their Facebook updates, right? Anybody looks at Facebook updates. Did you ever call your grandparents and see how they're doing? Right? Talking to them, that talking, it makes a whole different connection, guys. Those physical things that we need as a society to interact with each other, not only with our family, but then also going to the masjid. How many of you here go to the masjid? The masjid is a wonderful place for us to, learn from from our elders there, to pray in the Jama'ah, to read the Quran, to have a good, friendly environment. On the other hand, if you're spending all your time online, maybe joining the chat groups, talking about Islamic, question and answers, and maybe the forums and getting people's opinions and things like that. How do you know if the people who are on the other side are authentic? On the other hand, if you were to go to the masjid and talk to people physically, talk to the imam, or talk to elders who you can trust and get information from them regarding whatever topic you need information about, that impact that you have, that has on your life by getting the correct guidance, that's a whole different thing, guys. Okay, so, and then what else happens online? We go online, and then we have those I'm sure you guys have heard the police, right? The police that comes online and starts saying, oh, don't do this, don't do that. Haram police, that's what it's called. So they start saying, don't, the people who go, don't do this, don't do that. The thing is that we are quick to judge each other on social media rather than actually focusing on ourselves, right? Focusing on ourselves is the first and most priority that we should have as a Muslim. How am I doing? Am I doing the right thing? First of all, before I start going around and judging other people, what am I doing? Right? And you going around, I'm talking about hypothetically, not you. I'm not saying you guys do it, but a person who does that and goes around and starts telling people that they're doing this wrong, that wrong, and that's not helping the other people, right? You're just basically making fun of them or judging them and hurting them, and that's it. So guys, we should be using social media in a way where we are helping not only ourselves, but the people around us. As a Muslim, you go online, you have a good physical appearance, meaning in a social manner, meaning you help if find people who need help. For example, you can share about people who need like help fundraising, right? You share, oh, this masjid is asking for fundraising. You can do that. You can find people who need help throughout the world. People there, there's charity work. You can find people that need help. You can help them with that. Or you can share religious reminders. You can do these good things on the internet rather than doing the negative part of it, right? So it's not a matter of just avoiding social media. We can't do that. It's a part of our life. But what we have to look at is how are we doing in a way so that way we can benefit not everybody around us and us as well. We have to protect ourselves from those negative people. We earlier we talked about that people post everything online that I'm here, I'm here. How about you, instead of posting online, you enjoy the moment? When you are busy posting updates online and about your food, your your trips, your this and that, everything that you're doing, you are not only putting yourself at risk for people to see what you're doing in a negative way, but also you are losing the moment that you're enjoying, you should be enjoying at that time. Those moments that you're spending with your family, that you're spending with your loved ones, that you're spending maybe at the masjid, that you're spending with maybe taking a class that that's a very important class for you, for a religious class, or it could be a school related class. Focus on what you're doing at the moment, and see take that full moment in. Later on you can you can reflect on it. What if you, because you were busy posting on your Facebook that, oh, look what I'm doing here, or on Instagram, look what I'm doing here, you miss out on something that happened right in front of you, and you're like, oh, and are you going to be able to bring that moment back? No, you won't. So these are important things that we should be focusing on in our social, especially our social life, that you won't be able to bring back those moments that you have, and be thankful to Allah for those moments that you have, right? Those moments that we see around us, we should appreciate them. We should thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for those blessings that we have in our lives. Our parents are with us, our families are with us. These moments that, once they're gone, you can't bring them back. And then what are you going to have left? You're going to have your phone in your hand and that's it, or your laptop in front of you and that's it. So we should, use social media in a limited quantity, so that way you can not, replace your social interaction with the people around you where it matters. You definitely, I'm sure how many of you guys, the same people that you have on, that in school and things like that, you follow them on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook and stuff like that. How many of you have the same people on both in reality and on social media? I'm sure, I hope most of all of you would, have the same people. Now, are there some of you who have people that you don't even know in reality as you're on your friends list? Or you're following them, or they're following you. That's where it gets even more risky. So guys, we have to find a way to protect ourselves and our deen in that matter, and avoid these situations which could risk anything that may harm us. All right, inshallah. Now, another important part of how social media affects us is the impact that it has on physical life. Now, these go hand in hand, but they're definitely different as well. So this should be mentioned as well. So very good. Actually, just looking at the chat box, I saw some people were giving points And very good, alhamdulillah, that you mentioned that it lowers your physical interaction with people. Very good, alhamdulillah. That's exactly on how it affects your social life. Now, how does it affect your physical life? Now, maybe you guys here are pretty physical. Maybe you play sports. Maybe you, like to exercise and things like that. But let's look at, how we could, if we limit and if we use our social media in a more responsible way, we could also find time to have better physical activity, right? Because sometimes people say, "Oh, I didn't get time. I was too busy." What were you doing? You were, we don't want to admit it, but we were busy online. Maybe we were, just searching about some things on Google, or we were on social media, things like that. Obviously, social media itself is a whole big world, but the internet, of course, is also a big world as well. They're all, as our Alim Ahmed Apijan says, they're all a net, right? And it's like she says, it's internet. Enter into the net. You get caught in that net, and it catches you. Like it's never going to leave you. And you get caught on it, and you spend countless hours, and you're like, oh no, I was supposed to do this. I was supposed to pray. I was supposed to. Sometimes we forget to eat, because we're too busy looking at the things. Like these days, they've made it so easy for us to get caught from one video to another with the shorts on YouTube, or the suggested videos and this and that things. They just want you to spend more and more time online, which takes away from any physical activity that you could have, social activity you could have, and interaction with the people around you. It's becoming a situation where you're being kind of followed and controlled by the internet. I know it sounds scary when you say it like that, but I'm sure all of us have had this happen to us, where you just talk about one thing and you start seeing ads about it online all of a sudden. So, these things, this shows you how much of an impact the internet is having on our lives, and they're constantly checking. So you, again, don't let it control you. You should control it. Okay. You are, alhamdulillah, we are creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us alhamdulillah, he's made us the best of all creations, right? And he has given us a body to use. He's given a brain to us. He's given, all of our senses and everything. Use these things in the path and in the shukr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, rather than spending countless hours doing things that have no benefit to us. I'm not saying we all sit online and do haram things, right? Alhamdulillah. But that's the thing. When you take one step forward, oh, it's just those, cute videos of the animals that I'm looking at. But you maybe went and started those cute videos, and then you linked it. It suggested you another one and another one and another one, and it kept on going. And you ended up, like I said, spending 2 hours on it. Was that beneficial time? What do you guys think? Was it beneficial that you used it? Looking at cute animal videos? No, right? Exactly. Good. So, and then even worse, what if you missed Salah because of that? Now that whole 2 hours that you spent became haram. That's it. Because you didn't keep track of time, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't say, he doesn't want us to, just forget the world and, that's it. Our deen teaches us the correct way to live life, right? Our deen teaches us how we should spend our time wisely. How should we be successful, not only in the deen, but also in dunya. And because of that, we learn by looking at the teachings of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and also by the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The guidance that we receive is then how we learn how to be successful. Okay, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he has said in a hadith, in the summary of a hadith, that we, people, part of perfecting your faith is not part of the perfection of one's faith is leaving things behind which does not concern you. Okay, this is the summary of a hadith. What does that mean? Don't spend time wasting your time doing things that have nothing to do with you. What benefit is it if you start looking at, for example, oh, what did this celebrity do, or what did this athlete, what this football player was doing, and this and that, or you start looking at you know those videos that we were talking about and things like that. Use your time wisely. That's what we have as Muslims, is that use your time. If you're not doing something that's benefiting you, maybe like for your education and your family and things like that, then you should either not waste your time, or you could also be, you could have been reading Quran at that time. You could have been doing tasbih at that time. Again, everything has to be a balance, guys, right? Do you guys understand? It's not just about, forgetting the Facebook and YouTube and things like that. Of course, there's benefits of them too, right? We get to, alhamdulillah, we're using social media right now. We're using YouTube, we're using Zoom. These are ways for us to interact with each other. And alhamdulillah, it's a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we have access to these things to be able to learn about the deen without even leaving our house, right? Alhamdulillah. And there's so many lectures online that we could listen to, that we have access to, but it's just a matter of how you use your time on the internet. Okay, so coming back, same to the hadith, is using your time in a way that it is, it's if it's not benefiting you, and if it's not concerning you, then don't spend time on it, right? Use your time in a beneficial way. Don't get into other people's business, like on social media. We just spend hours, oh, why is this person doing that, why is that person doing this, etc., etc. We don't want to worry about that. Okay, now coming back onto the physical life, how does it affect your physical life? I'm sure you guys can suggest me some ideas, right? What kind of things does social media do to your physical health? What do you think? Does it keep us very active? And I'm not talking about updating your running stats on social media websites. Yeah, no, it doesn't, right? It keeps us kind of stuck in one place, right? Whether it's online on your laptop or computer or your phone. I know some people have an amazing technique that they could use their phone and walk at the same time, but at some point it gets very dangerous, right? So we don't like to promote that, but using the cell phone or using your laptop, it keeps you bound to one place. And obviously that's going to affect your physical health, right? You will become more lazy. You're going to become, you're going to start getting addicted to social media or the internet, and so naturally you're gonna just want to sit and lay down in bed all day, or sit on your sofa. You might be gaming. People who like to do gaming, they nowadays it's not just about playing games, it's about playing games online together. So that's also a form of social media. And so these things affect your lack of physical activity, and then in turn they start decreasing the quality of your life. They start decreasing the quality of your religious duties. You might become so tired that you're like, oh, I'll just I'll pray later, and I don't want to do it now, or I don't feel like reading Quran, I'll just read it tomorrow. Things like that. Your energy starts going in the wrong place, right? So again, balance is key as a Muslim. Alhamdulillah, it's not just about one thing or another. It's about how you balance this world and your deen. That's what the key is here, guys. Okay, and then everything you do on the internet, keep this thing in mind, that what are you doing at that time? Whatever you're doing is it making the dunya happy, or is it making shaitan happy, or is it making Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala happy, or Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam? That's what our main goal should be. That's what our main goal should be in this life, in this as a Muslim living in this world in these days, where social media, especially those of you who are younger, you guys have a long way to go, and social media you might see an increase more and more in your life. right? And so everything, that's the correct step that we have to make is, why are we doing what we're doing? What's my goal with me going online right now? What's my goal? Is my goal to waste time, or is my goal to, backbite, or is it my goal to gossip with people online? Or is it maybe I have, alhamdulillah, you guys are here listening right now, alhamdulillah, in this gathering, alhamdulillah, we're mentioning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we're learning about the deen, and we're talking about, how to become better Muslims. So that's what the main goal is, that how are we, this is the way to, this is the correct way to use these apps that we have, these tools that we have, alhamdulillah. And alhamdulillah, so it's not just about the social life and the physical life. There's, definitely many, many more aspects that we can look at. But focusing on these two, looking behind, what's the need for us to, what's that need that we have for us to want to use social media all the time? Why do we feel like we need to be online all the time? And that's because we feel like we not only have our presence in person, okay, we have our presence in our social circle, but also our presence on our social media circle. Okay, we feel like we constantly need to be online and being updated and see what's going on, and we don't want to miss a moment, and this is that fear of missing out, right? That's what people call it nowadays, right? FOMO. And that's what people are worried about, that they want to not miss out on anything going on online. But what we're forgetting at this point is that by doing this, you're missing out on so many other things that you could be doing. Because once you go online, you're lost in that world. So, there have been many studies going on which show, how frequently do people use social media these days. And social media, that has according to the studies, that people use it, a few times a day. Like about 50% of people are using it, throughout the day, and they check it multiple times a day. And another scary thing with that is that people are also checking it while they're driving. How many of you guys here drive? Raise your hand if you drive, or you can put it in the chat box. You can put it in the chat box for those of you who are on Facebook or on YouTube. You can put it on chat box. Okay. Now, have you ever used the phone while driving? If you have, keep your hand up or put yes in the chat box. Yeah, exactly. See, some of us, we are guilty of that. Maybe you have not checked social media, but you may have answered a text, or you have checked an email, right? These are all forms of being connected online, right? And do you know how dangerous it is whenever we do that? You put yourself at risk. You put the people around you at risk. You put anybody else who's in the car at risk with you at that time. So these things, it's the fact that we constantly want to be connected online for, because we don't want to miss out on anything. But guys, what's the benefit of being constantly in touch online if, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us all, but if, somebody doing that gets into an accident, and that's the last moment, right? So we need to be very careful, like I said, very responsible in the way we use social media, not only with how we are spending time online, and how we are, going through, and what kind of websites we're going to, what kind of posts are we looking at, what kind of posts are we making. All of these things are showing our, representing who we are. When we go online as a Muslim, we should be spreading peace. We should be spreading, good deeds, good manners. This is our presence on social media. Just like that, when we meet people in person, people should look at Muslim people and say, oh, that's how they are. They're such good people. We want to be like them, right? Wouldn't you love it if somebody got impressed by the deen because of the way you act with them? It would be perfect, alhamdulillah. So it's like I said, it's about how you, you don't forget that you are a representative of the deen when you are online, and, being careful when you're there is a very, very important thing. Always check in with yourself. What am I doing? Am I doing the right thing? The moment you answer yourself that no, oh, I shouldn't be doing this, just stop. Okay. That moment you stop, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward you so much for that, because He knew that you stopped yourself from doing the wrong thing. Okay. Inshallah. And that's what we have to be, very, very careful of. And alhamdulillah, we know that, as I mentioned, that we should take advantage of the time that we have right now, and gather as much good deeds that we can for the hereafter. And like I mentioned, social media can be a wonderful way for us to do that. What are some ways we could use social media to have a good impact on our deen as a Muslim? Can you guys suggest something? What are some good ways we could do it? Mm-hmm. Good. Good. Yeah, researching about prophets. Very good. Learning about the deen. Very perfect. That's a great answer. Alhamdulillah. What other ways? Yeah, you could share hadith, right? You can share hadith to each other, alhamdulillah. Spread the deen, right? If you have a Facebook, post daily hadith there. If you on your whatever social media account that you use, post maybe like ayahs of the Quran, things that you think that people would read it, inshallah, learn more about the deen. Very good. Online, you can read the Quran, you can read du'as. Very good. Alhamdulillah. So those are, positive ways that you could use it. Alhamdulillah. Now, the thing that we're going to come to is that you can use the internet definitely to do these good things. But don't forget that we should find ways to limit our time online. Why is that, guys? Because shaitan is always waiting to guide us off to the wrong path. All right. It's even better for us to find sources that can give us even more reliable knowledge, that you can find elders who can give you more guidance specific to you. They can show you the correct path, rather than you accidentally checking online for maybe a hadith. How do you know maybe that hadith is incorrect, right? So that's why, if it's something, in a way, if spending time online is good, if you use it responsibly according to the limits of the deen. But we know that being online is not necessarily always a good thing, right? And there's always people online who are waiting. They might try to misguide you. So that's why we should find people who we can trust. We should find people who, we can rely on to give us guidance, and help us to learn how to become better people in person, online, wherever you go. We should keep these things in mind in every step of the way that we go. All right. And the main thing to understand is that you and I, as Muslims, whenever you go on the internet, or if you go somewhere in person, always keep this in your mind, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching. Okay? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching, and every step that we take should be with this in mind. Okay? That, is this the right thing to do or not? Is this the right thing to do or not? Literally, the moment you start keeping this in your heart, you won't need, you won't need anybody to always be or like you won't need to be uh you know telling yourself that you could you know, you could do this or you could do that. You can, oh, it's okay if I watch this video, or it's okay if I, oh, just share this joke, which might not be that appropriate. Or it's okay if I do, you know, if I talk to that person that I don't really know, oh, it's not, it's okay, you know, it's not that harmful. The moment you start making all your decisions with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in mind, everything will become easier, guys. And then, inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help you, will guide you. And inshallah, you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help you keep making the right decisions in everything we do in life, whether online, whether in person. Keeping this in mind, it will inshallah not only help you keep you safe online, but also whenever you meet others around you, it will help you become a better Muslim. And alhamdulillah, you know, with the topics that we have talked about today, what kind of things could we do? I wrote some things up here online. Inshallah, you guys can also suggest ideas. I'm sure you guys have wonderful ideas. What kind of things could we do so that way we can make sure that we don't let social media and the internet negatively impact us in social life, in our physical life, or um, in any other um, in any other uh, you know, aspect. Okay, go ahead. Definitely, you can put it in the chat box, and inshallah, I will look at it. So, what kind of things could we do? We can keep good company. What does that mean? You know, you probably thinking I have good friends. I don't have any bad friends who do anything wrong. No, but the thing is, being in good company online is kind of difficult, right? Because when you see someone in person, your friends who are you know, they are you know, you're all sitting together in a gathering, you know, and you are chatting and you're talking and you're having fun, you're having a good conversation, and it's time for prayer, and your friends go and they, you know, start telling each other, let's go do wudu, it's time to pray. That company that you spend there, that impact that you're having on in person, that encouragement is, that company became beneficial for you, right? Being in the company of good people, meaning good friends, good relatives, good you know, responsible people, you know, having people who encourage good things, you know, in terms of good manners and good etiquette, or inshallah in worship. You know, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam has told us in a summary of his hadith that the that the similarity of having good company and bad company is that if you you know, if you were to, you know, go by like a person who sells perfume shop, right? And you know, imagining that a good company would be someone who sells perfume, that perfume shop, when you pass by it, that would leave you with a good smell, right? On the other hand, if you were to go somewhere that the smell is bad, when you pass by it, that bad smell sticks on you, right? So just like that, your good company affects you in a way that you can't imagine. When you sit around those people and you talk with them, you know, stand with them, you pray with them, you know, you play games with them, they are slowly having an impact on you. Did you ever notice, have you guys ever noticed that when you start spending time with someone more, or you know, you're someone like maybe your friend, your brothers or sisters, when they're spending time with someone more, they start talking like them, or they start dressing like them? Have you guys ever noticed that? And if you have noticed that, if you've tried to tell that to them, that, you know, you sound like that person now, they're going to say no, because you don't even realize that it's happening to you. That's the amazing thing, right? That Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam has guided us about this. That, you know, the company you keep has a great impact on you. Very good. Those of you who are responding, exactly. So So exactly. So when you are having yourself in good company, you have a great big impact on that has a great big impact on yourself. Now, if you're spending time online, it's easy to forget about the good manners versus the bad manners, the correct things I should be doing at this time versus the bad things I should be doing at this time. Because although the internet and social media are good, they're negative. And as much as we don't want to admit it, right? Because we like to use it, the negative is quite, very, very strong. Okay. If you were to weigh the benefits versus the harm, the harm is quite severe. Okay. And it's the reason why I'm saying this, although you guys probably thinking in the beginning you said you're not gonna talk about how it's haram. The reason why, guys, is because I am concerned about you, right? We're all as Muslims concerned about each other. We want to work together on how we can become better people and how can we stay safe from the fitna of this world, and how can we stay safe from the dangers of this world and the next, right? How can we stay away from the traps? And that's the most important thing. So keeping yourself in good company, especially in Muslim company, people that maybe through the masjid you have friends, and your families are friends and stuff like that. That's really good because inshallah, the more your parents are involved, guys, this comes down to, I'm skipping one point for now, but having a good relationship with your parents. We might think like, oh, my parents don't know much, they are old school and this and that, but the thing is, they are not they're not they might not know about how to use Snapchat and Instagram and things like that, but that doesn't mean that they don't know right from wrong. They know what's the right thing for you to do. They know what you should stay away from. Okay. Make your parents your best friends. They are the ones who, without any personal gain, they're going to be helping you. When you trust them, when you make a good relation with them, they will listen to you. They're not going to start yelling at you and, why did you do this? Why did you do that? They're going to listen to you because they want to know what's going on. Okay? They want to know how they can help. That's what their job is, right? Parents are there to care for us, right? So if you trust them, if you open up to them and you ask them for help, they inshallah will appreciate that you're not hiding, that the difficulties that you're facing. They will instead listen to you. They will lend both ears to you, and everything, so that way they can help you, inshallah. Okay. So keeping yourselves in the relation, having yourself in a good company, but also in the relationship with in a good relationship with your parents, with your elders. If you have elder siblings, you can ask them for help as well. People you trust. Okay. Parents, alhamdulillah, are people that we can trust. No parent would ever give us the wrong advice. If they're telling you to stay away from your, the face, Facebook, for example, if they say no, just listen. Inshallah, it's going to benefit you so much. You might not realize it at this point, but inshallah, it will. If they tell you to don't go hang out with these people, or if they say no, you can't have a cell phone right now, stuff like that, they are thinking of some reason behind it. Okay. And inshallah, when you try to make a good relation with them, inshallah, they will explain to you then, why am I saying this? Why are you, why am I telling you no? Because they, like I said, they would never do anything because of their own benefit. The same advice if you were to ask someone online, if you needed help with something, right? You're having trouble with something at school, you're with your friends and stuff like that. That same help, if you ask someone you don't even know online, they might give you the wrong advice. They don't know anything about you. They don't know you about our deen. They don't know anything. So, or if you ask your friends, they are just your age group. They don't know about life and things like that. On the other hand, your parents are people who you can trust. Okay. Along with your parents, you also have elders, and the elders, or linking yourself to the masjid. linking yourself to people who have that connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that can make you strong in your deen, and that can give you the correct guidance that you need. Okay, inshallah, most of you here are, you are either teenagers or older than teenagers. So you guys are at the time where you're experiencing a lot of things in your life, whether it's because of homework, whether it's because of work, some of you might have started working, whether it's because of people, in your school, maybe they might be pressurizing that you need to do this. Your friends might be saying, oh, everybody's doing this, why aren't you doing it? And I know it's hard to make people understand that it's because of your religion. It's very hard, because if that person isn't a part of the same deen, it doesn't make sense to them all the time, right? But when you, inshallah, link yourselves to the elders, meaning to people who you can rely on. For example, as I mentioned, Alima Humaira Apijan for Zainab Center, or you can talk to, our Sheikh Ahmed Arshad Damat Barakatuh, or the Imam of the Masjid. Talk to these elders who are linked to the deen. They can help you overcome these problems that you're facing. Don't think that they don't know about these issues. They know much more than we can imagine. And they've been exposed to so many things throughout life, from people's issues and things like that. You can talk to them and get their advice, will be much more that you can ever even imagine yourself to be doing. Okay, inshallah. So this comes along with your parents and with your this comes along with your parents, as well as the dean and the elders, as we mentioned. For Zainab Center, definitely for Zainab Center, it's perfect because it's not like you have to physically go somewhere. You can contact them on email or on WhatsApp. You can ask questions from the comfort of your home, and you can get the guidance. And it's like it's perfect, because you know how you wish you had that friend you could always count on, with you all the time, that you can just say, I need help, who can I ask? Firstly, alhamdulillah, we have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our best friend, right? And he, we can make dua to him all the time. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent these scholars and the elders who are a way for us to understand what would what would make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala happy in these situations, right? And so then we can have access to, for example, I was mentioning to the email or the phone number for Zainab Center, to get access, to get help from Apijan or from Sheikh Saab, right? So that's why these tools that we have, these are amazing tools that we can use to improve our life, improve our deen, and get out of the tough situations that we might be facing. These days, there's so many situations that we encounter that have a lot of difficulty. Whether you're in school, you're in college, you're in at work, wherever you are, especially living in a country where it's obviously it's not primarily a Muslim country. So there's so many difficulties that we can face, and having access to elders who can guide us in these situations it's a blessing that we definitely should take advantage from. Alhamdulillah. And lastly, guys, as I mentioned earlier, that keeping deen as a priority, that's something you can make it as your blanket statement for in person or online. Whatever you do, think about it. First of all, limit your time. I'm only going to spend 1 hour doing whatever I need to do. And then in that time, what am I doing? Am I doing something that is harmful to myself or to deen? Or am I doing something that's beneficial? Am I going to be, just fighting with people or trolling people, or, maybe complaining about my life and things like that? Those are things that, if that, we look at it, we have to look at it from a deen perspective, and that's wrong, right? Bothering someone is never good, whether if you're anonymous or not. So, or it's, wasting time, like I said, is never good. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam has told us to take advantage of our health and time while we have it. okay, in a summary of a hadith. So we should do that. Okay, this is a very common thing. Imagine when you are so busy in your life and you're not able to do, maybe right now you have time, you can take some extra classes about the deen, you can listen to some good lectures, you can take advantage and use that time. That hour you spend in class or listening to the lecture, that's going to be, you spend time on social media, but that time is going to be written in your good deeds, inshallah, because you spent that time on the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, or you are healthy right now, you are able to go to the masjid and do salah, and or you can if you are healthy, you are able to you have no issues wearing full clothes, modest clothing, you can wear the hijab and you can cover as we need to in our deen. Maybe sometimes people have some illnesses where they're not able, they have problems with the fabric that they have that on their skin. What are you going to do then? You Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed you with time and health. Let's use these blessings that we have to make it, to benefit us in deen as well as in dunya, inshallah. So alhamdulillah, as I mentioned, we have a lot of opportunities, especially through Zainab Center. We have offers. The best way, like I said, is to link yourself with others, with elders, and those who can guide you in the deen. Zainab Center offers a lot of different courses. They have the Alima program, which begins with the foundations class. It's in Urdu and in English. Alhamdulillah, it's a big blessing. We can learn from the comfort of our home, as well as for younger kids. We have the fundamentals classes, alhamdulillah. And then also, if we have the option for, if that's a little difficult, you can also join, shorter courses, alhamdulillah. There's options for so many different things that you can do through Zainab Center and learn about the deen from the comfort of your home on your own time. And alhamdulillah, it really, guys, we should take advantage of these blessings. Now, if we, maybe before we could say that we don't have time to go drive to a school to learn. Now there's no driving. There's nothing involved like that. It's just a matter of clicking the link, joining the class, and attending, inshallah. All right. So alhamdulillah, take advantage of these wonderful options that we have through Zainab Center. And inshallah, we can definitely learn from that. Now I will open it up to you guys. And inshallah, definitely, if you guys have any questions, please feel free. Go ahead and put them in the chat box. And inshallah, we will talk about that. And inshallah, meanwhile, while you're thinking of some questions, I'm going to go ahead and give you some things to think about. All right. So how about, based on what we talked about, alhamdulillah, what kind of changes do you guys think you're going to be making in your life? How are you going to improve your presence on social media, especially, but also online or in person? What kind of ideas? Maybe you can share some great ideas that maybe I haven't even talked about and other people can learn from that. Definitely. Okay, good. So I see some suggestions are coming in. Yeah. Making small changes. Okay, alhamdulillah. Making small changes can make a big difference. Definitely. That's right. You can take baby steps, right? We don't have it's hard to do some drastic changes right away, but make dua from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and do little things at a time. Very good. Very great point. Someone said to remember that this is all temporary. Everything you're doing here is just a moment, right? That's it. Then it's going to be gone. This life is a very short time. And we should think about what we're going to be sending forward, right? What good deeds are we sending forward that will make an impact for our lives? Very good. Alhamdulillah. Very good, mashallah. Definitely. Okay. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, these are great suggestions that are coming in. Alhamdulillah. And we should definitely remember that, right now we spent, this hour or so that we spent together, we talked about many different things. But guys, we can take one point out of it, is that keep that this this phrase in your mind, that do everything with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a priority, with your deen as a priority. And inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help you make the right decisions. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help you become a better person, a better Muslim. Allah will keep you safe from all of the dangers of this world and the next. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help guide you on the right path, and keep you in touch and in link with people who can help you through schools, especially such as Zainab Center. And inshallah, we should make dua for that. Alhamdulillah. Now, guys, if you guys have any questions, we have details of Zainab Center on the screen and also coming in the chat box. Please make sure, inshallah, you check that. Definitely contact, and if there's anything that you need, you can get the information for that. Inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, accept this gathering that we had today. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us and make us the best Muslims. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us so that on the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala looks at us and smiles at us. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us in his protection always. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us on the path of Sirat al-Mustaqim. Ameen. Ameen. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين جزاك الله خيرا وأحسن الجزاء في الدارين السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته